Hey yo, what's good though? Soul here, and welcome back to my story mode. Now, as I have said and am going to continue to say in my next couple of upcoming videos, it is still very much March, which means it's only been a couple of weeks since our reveal for Pokemon Legends ZA. At the end of that reveal, or more specifically the end of the trailer, they showcased one of the most important symbols to ever show up in the entirety of the Pokemon franchise. The Mega symbol, which most of you already know good and well by now, symbolizes the fact that we are getting Mega Evolutions back. Now, depending on the outlook here, you may not see this as something that's very important, but a majority of people will tell you that's an insane outlook to have. Mega Evolutions is, good and well, the people's favorite mechanic. Good and well, there's no argument to be had. It was the first mechanic to ever show us the true possibility of gimmicks, something to enhance battles, something to change them up, spice things up a little bit in the realm of RPGs, specifically for Pokemon, because, let's be real, Pokemon up to that point had gotten pretty stale in terms of general battling. By the time we actually have our hands on Pokemon Legends Arceus, it'll have been about like 10 or so years since we've had Mega Evolution in Pokemon games. In mainline games, of course. I'm not talking about Pokemon Go or Masters yet. I ain't talking about the spin-offs or the apps or live service games. But essentially, we have come full circle in a full decade. We are finally getting our first mechanic back, and it's going to be very exciting. However, I'm here to talk about the good and the bad of this mechanic returning to us. Yes, of course, like all of you, I am very excited and looking forward to Mega Evolution being a mechanic in this game. However, there's also some concerns that I may have here and there about what this implies. So, why don't we all sit down, grab our fried rice, our whipped cream, spread it all on there, and let's chit-chat about some of my excitements and fears about the return of the mechanic of Mega Evolutions. Of course, as per usual, first off, we're going to cover my excitements, and my first one is that Mega Evolutions are back. Despite what it may have sounded like whenever I would talk about mechanics before today and in this video here and going forward, Mega Evolution is so much fun. I love it as a gimmick, and I cannot wait to use it again. I also can't wait to see what kind of animations and designs we're going to be seeing in this kind of overworld. We've played Pokemon Legends Arceus, but we don't know how Mega Evolutions would look like in a world like this, and I am just so excited to see those things blend. I'm over the moon, man. On top of that, we get to see our favorites return. I've made this joke a couple of times now, but Mega Swampert coming back? Mwah, just the possibility is a godsend, and I cannot wait to see my favorite strong boy. Mega Caesar, Mega Metagross, Mega Gengar. I can't wait to see all my boys back and whipping some booty, bruh. I'm ready for it, man. But not only is there potential for some all-star players to return to the field, there's also a chance for a lot of new all-stars to make their first time appearance as well. I think it's pretty obvious what I'm going to say next. I am probably going to dedicate a video in the near future to all of the Pokemon that I want to see get Mega Evolutions next. And then also, I want to dedicate a video to all of the Mega Evolutions you guys want to see next as well. So make sure to pay attention to the community tab. But we've been saying forever that there are so many Pokemon that were pretty much absolutely ignored until they finally got Mega Evolutions, and then all of a sudden, they were kind of relevant again for a while. Well, at least until Mega Evolutions weren't a thing anymore, but hey, they were fighting pretty strong when they had their limelight. Please tell me how many of your friends specifically had a Bayonet or a Heracross on their teams before Mega Evolution was a thing for them? Please be 100% honest with me, because 9 times out of 10, the common answer was going to be that they weren't really using those Pokemon. If you could tell me with your full chest that you actively used an Audino after it didn't have access to Mega Evolution every time you ran through a Pokemon game, then honestly, you deserve the award of all time. Like, actually, I'm not kidding, because nobody did that. No disrespect to Audino, by the way. Cute Pokemon, amazing for experience farming. Anyway, I can't wait for all of the new designs that we're going to be seeing from these new Mega Evolutions, as well as the power creep for a lot of Pokemon that we didn't think were going to get another chance like this to be actually strong and a real front runner for some teams. For the next couple of months, we can have absolutely no doubt that me and a ton of other PokeTubers that you watch are absolutely going to be speculating for a very long time what Pokemon are going to be getting some kind of Mega Evolution. And there's a lot of factors that you gotta take into account too though. Like what Pokemon just looks cool with the possibility of a Mega Evolution, what Pokemon needs and deserves a Mega Evolution, and what Pokemon would just be stupid OP with it, just because they want to have fun with it, cause why not? All of the categories that I just listed are absolute nonsense, by the way, but you get what I'm getting at. There's so many things that can factor in what Pokemon are getting Mega Evolutions, and I can't wait to dive more into that. There's also the fact that when you consider what Pokemon Legends is, Mega Evolution in this scenario is just going to be busted as hell. Obviously, this is just me looking back on Pokemon Legends Arceus and considering the fact that it was not really competitively viable in any way, shape, or form. There was no online battles, and because of that, there was no abilities, there was no held items, no real strategy to be had other than hit your opponent as hard as possible. And so, in turn, overworld Pokemon were really strong. Like, a Pokemon could still be like 20 to 30 levels under you, and they could do some serious damage if you're not careful. So looking back and considering the idea that we might be going back to a world like that, that means that most likely there's going to be Pokemon out there that can just randomly Mega Evolve on their own, and they will be really dangerous. Really dangerous. The image of having to play as a trainer in that era, but now you have the ability to dodge a Hyper Beam from a Mega Evolved Gyarados, is raw as hell. I can't wait to see this truly terrifying world become even more frightening. It is absolutely exhilarating. Now, of course, we gotta flip things over and talk about why I'm a little nervous about the return of Mega Evolution. And it's not necessarily the mechanic itself, but more so what the mechanic implies. For example, as we literally just acknowledged, Mega Evolution is a busted mechanic. I have no doubt in my mind that even the developers are fully aware of this fact, which is why we haven't seen it in a competitive mainline setting in such a long time now. Now obviously I hope that I'm more than wrong about this, but I really hope that this isn't their way of insinuating that us getting this busted mechanic means that we're not getting a dedicated online mode. Like we acknowledged in one of our previous videos, Pokemon Legends Arceus had literally absolutely no online aspects whatsoever. Of course, trading was a thing, but we didn't really need that because all of the Pokemon were all available in that one game. On top of that, you would never need to trade somebody else to evolve a Pokemon like Gengar that needed trade stuff. You would just get the item from the shop right next to where you would go online. So in turn, I really just hope that this isn't them telling us that we aren't getting online because we're getting a broken mechanic. Hell, at this point in time, I see absolutely no reason as to why you wouldn't add online battling. It doesn't have to be a crazy ranked mode or anything like that. We should just be able to battle online for fun, cause why the hell not? It gives the game more longevity, it gives us more of a reason to try out Pokemon that we never got to try out before, especially if there's going to be new Mega Evolutions. It's literally a win-win for everybody. Of course, I could be absolutely wrong on this, and them not having online stuff in Legends Arceus was a one-time fluke, but I don't know. You never really know with this kind of thing. Another thing that kind of concerned me, and probably me only, is the fact that this probably means that style changes are just kind of cooked. They came up with a very strange gimmick in style changes, and I kind of liked the idea of actually having to strategize when and where to actively use style changes in a battle, and I kind of liked that aspect, but you know, it wasn't anything all that insane, but I enjoyed it for what it was. With the reintroduction of Mega Evolutions, a much stronger and just overall better and more interesting mechanic, yeah, there's absolutely no reason for them to ever even touch style changes again. At the very least, not in this game, but I still think that it could be really cool as a concept in a future title. If you completely disagree and you think that style changes are a dumb mechanic, that's totally fine. I totally get where you're coming from. It wasn't that strong, especially in comparison to literally everything that came before it. However, I really do think that in the right setting and with the right tweaks, that could be a really strong contender for a real competitive mechanic. But hey, when you really sit down and think about it, Legends in of itself was a completely last minute concept with Legends Arceus. I have to imagine the same thing applies to style changes as a mechanic. So, since we are seeing another Legends game in the near future, it's not impossible to believe that we might see style changes come back sometime down the road. But at the very least, it's very easy to conclude that it's not going to be for a long time that we see that mechanic back, and that's a little sad to me. Again though, I'm sure I'm like one of 5 people that actually care about that, so why don't we just go ahead and move on. This next one might be a little bit of a stretch, and I know that some people are going to come for my necks for even thinking this or complaining about it in any way, shape, and form before we even get our hands on the game, but it is a little scary to think that we probably won't be getting as many Mega Evolutions as we might think. The only reason that I'm even putting this together right now is because I'm considering what we got from Pokemon X and Y as well as what we got from Pokemon Legends. By the time we reached Pokemon X and Y back in like 2013, we already had well over like 700 Pokemon, and we got 28 Mega Evolutions. Now, of course, at the time, nobody was complaining because Mega Evolutions were so new and people were still getting used to them, so, of course, we didn't really think much of the pretty minute number overall. But I remember looking back a little while ago and was like, dang, that's not really a lot of options. Even with Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, they only added 12. Of all of the Pokemon from 3rd Gen, they only picked 12 that were deserving of Mega Evolution. Alright, whatever. Now here's the thing, we're very far into the future, and the amount of Pokemon that we have now is absolutely astounding. It's ridiculous how many Pokemon we have now. Which is precisely one of the reasons as to why in Pokemon Legends we only had access to about a little over 240 Pokemon. Which is totally fine, we didn't need all of them back or anything like that, but we have over 1,000 and we only got like 200 plus back? Okay. But unfortunately, I'm an overthinker, and now I have pretty much put myself into a pit where I am now considering the very real possibility in which we only get like 8 to 10 new Mega Evolutions, and the rest of the Mega Evolutions will probably be available, but we're probably only going to end up with like 50, which is mostly just going to be returning Pokemon, which would be kind of cool, but a little unfortunate, you know? When I was younger, I for sure thought that Mega Evolution was going to be a mainstay for the series. It was such a cool concept, and it gave so many different Pokemon an actual fighting chance, a real reason for me to actually use them. I figured, hey, maybe by the next game, this Pokemon could get a Mega, or this Pokemon could get a Mega. And then we just stopped getting Mega Evolutions altogether, and I was like, oh, yikes. So now I have the same gut feeling as the Smash DLC roster, in which there's a set number of very limited Pokemon that are going to get Mega Evolutions. We don't know which, and it's not gonna be that many. And that would just be kinda sad because there's so many Pokemon I would love to see with this mechanic. Obviously not every single Pokemon needs it. Most of the Pokemon that have it don't really need it. But I would love to see a lot of Pokemon get this access anyway because it's just such a fun mechanic and such a cool way to bring Pokemon back. But again, this is just me being dramatic, and I will be happy with whatever Pokemon we do get because they're probably gonna be a lot of fun. And lastly, of course, my final gripe, quote unquote, is just that I really hope that this isn't the last time that we ever see Mega Evolution in a Pokemon game. And just to reiterate here, I don't mean live service games, so not Pokemon Go or Masters EX, that's not what I'm talking about here. I would just love to see like another remake or something like that with Mega Evolutions returning once again because it's just such a fun mechanic. I love it so much, and clearly a lot of other people do. Hell, you guys clearly love it because you guys have been putting it in literally everything else but the mainline games. So with its return in Pokemon Legends ZA, I'm just hoping that that means that you guys have acknowledged the love that people have for this mechanic and this gimmick, and that we'll be seeing just a little bit more of it in the future to come. Overall though, regardless of any complaints that I might have, I'm very much looking forward to Pokemon Legends ZA, and I'm so excited to use Mega Evolutions in like that open zone style game. It's just gonna be so ridiculous to run around with overpowered Pokemon like that again. I can't wait to whoop some booty, man. I'm back in there, I'm locked in, I promise you. But I guess we'll get to that when we get to that. So that just about wraps it up for this one here. Once again, I'm looking forward to everything that this game has to offer. But maybe you're not on the same page as me. Maybe you absolutely disagree. So I'm gonna go ahead, pick the mic up and put it in your face right now, because I'm gonna need you to tell me what you're thinking about this. Are you excited like I am? Are you looking forward to Mega Evolution again? Or are you a little hesitant about some of the things that Mega Evolutions may imply going into Pokemon Legends ZA? Tell me everything that you guys are thinking in the comment section below, because you know for a fact that I am always gonna be down there with you guys. But with that, it is time for me to go, because it is absolutely skedaddle o'clock. So I would like to thank you guys once again ever so much for watching. I truly do do hope you enjoyed. Do me the greatest favor of dropping a like and a comment, and consider subscribing for more content just like this here. And with that, I'm gone. So, thanks again, hope you enjoyed, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Do me the greatest favor of taking good ass care, and I'll see you all next time.